Hello and welcome back to Demo Factor 2020. Yes, I am sat on my bedroom floor. Just don't worry about it. Ignore it. It's fine. This is like a little kind of, I guess, post-match analysis of Demo Factor. Thankfully, it's not just me and you. I'm, of course, joined by the judges. Hello, judges.
Hello.
Hiya.
Look at them back together. I'm getting emotional. You getting emotional?
The gang's all here.
I can't believe we've had 10 seconds and Paul and Aled haven't started fighting yet. So that's good. Good start.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah, it's definitely coming.
Is this like
Chris,
the low-value ITV2 follow-on, like Britain's Got More Talent?
This is very much like that, except no Stephen Mulhern, although you do look a bit like him, it has to be said. Chris, let's start with you as head judge. It was a really good night, a really strong night, wasn't it?
It was a really good night, and hello again to everybody for doing this again. I'm sitting on my bedroom floor, strangely. It was a brilliant night. What amazing talent! What incredible demos we had. I mean, we've had strong demo factors in the past, but I think as a virtual demo factor, I think that the social media and the response from the students was really, really positive. So that made me feel really relaxed and quite glad that we did it. So I hope that we gave you something really sort of special to listen to and to watch, and you learnt a lot of things and learnt from each other, because that's the whole point. And I think especially in this current climate, when you're on your own in your own flat or with your parents or whatever, to not have your mates around you to give you a big pat on the back and say, well done for putting that demo in. I think, you should all of you who entered should be really, really proud of yourselves if you were picked out or not. And the final point of that is, of course, there were those 10 that were picked out at the very end of the show by Ben, but the remaining demos that were not listened to, we will divvy them out between the 5 of us, and you will get some feedback from one of us in the next week or so.
Okay, Chris, let's stay with you because you were the first judge to golden buzz. You buzzed for Mollie. Before we talk about Mollie's demo, let's bring Mollie into the conversation.
Hey,
Mollie, welcome.
Hello, Mollie.
Hi, Mollie.
How are you?
Mollie Finn from Nerve Radio. Mollie, congratulations for getting a golden buzzer. What was your reaction when it happened?
Oh my goodness. At first, I thought that I'd accidentally played Spandau Ballet into my demo that I'd sent in.
I kept thinking that.
Yeah, it was like, because it was the first one as well, I didn't know it was going to happen, and I was like, oh no! And then I just cried for about an hour and a half. Yeah, pretty good.
It's not the first time that Chris North has made somebody cry for an hour and a half in Demo Factor.
Very, very true.
That is factually correct. Chris, what was it about Mollie's demo that you really liked?
I think I said it on the night. I think it's what I wanted. It was hearing somebody who was natural, who was engaging straight away. You had such a great passion, and I think you had that music sort of passion that Pandora said. It's not something you can learn. It's something that you have within you. My mum, by the way, is a big fan. You said that music is the answer to all our problems at the moment, and I think that was a spot-on sentence for where we are. And I think I just loved the link about your mum, Alison. I thought that was great. I think Paul was right about what he said about having a bit of a breath and having a bit of a rest and a slight pace situation. But as presenters go, a brilliant, strong presenter ready for the radio, and I hope that the other judges will be able to help coach you as much as I hope to be able to coach you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This is so surreal, this whole moment.
Mollie, it's surreal for us too. Because normally you'd be sort of in the darkness in a big hall, and we'll have had a few gins. But seeing you like this is really nice, and I'd like to know from you as a presenter, but also from student radio, how did you feel? Not just being golden buzz, but how did you feel about Demo Factor?
As in specifically this year?
Yeah. Been to the live show, I assume, then?
Pardon?
Been to the live show?
I actually haven't. That's what I was going to say. I've never been to the live show. So for me, this is my first experience at Demo Factor. And obviously I was nervous. It is a very nerve-wracking thing to do, to put yourself out there. But I think from the first time I heard you comment on somebody's demo, it just went, because it's like, actually, what a moment, whatever happens, just being able to get feedback from all of you, that is something that doesn't just happen. And I absolutely loved it this year. I was quite glad that you didn't see me crying after, so that was a little bit of a benefit because my crying face isn't good. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. It was such a great experience, and it was so wonderful to be a part of it.
Well done. Mollie, tell us a bit more. Are you a first year student, or are you new to radio, or have you been doing it for a while now?
So I'm in my final year. So I graduate I suppose I have my distinction in next week, so I'm a bit nervous. But I am the station manager at Nerve at the moment, not for much longer. And I started doing community radio when I was about 18. And is the big reason why I went to uni was to be part of student radio, because you hear such great things, and everybody that I kind of aspire to be like, I know started on student radio. So it was just a huge factor in why I went to uni. And then that's me.
Who do you listen to on the radio? Who do you like? It's interesting to hear this kind of stuff.
Well, Aled, I'm sure you're going to be pleased to hear this.
In which case, don't bother answering the question. Next question.
Let's move on.
No, I mean, obviously, age bracket wise, Radio 1 has been there like since I was a kid. I used to listen to Chris Moores in the morning, and I've always been a consistent listener. I think Annie Mac is probably my biggest inspiration. Every time I listen to her, I feel like I'm with her, and it feels like you're like a part of her show, which I always want to do in my shows. And then just Greg, I love. I just love him though. That's just a personal thing. And yeah, I kind of sorry, I'm panicking. I've just always listened to Radio 1. It's been the kind of my go-to my whole life, and I love it. It's the type of music I love. It's the type of radio that I love.
Okay. Well, can I share my thoughts then, actually? Because that is actually one of the hardest thing about Demo Factor, is that you don't know whether you should be applying it to your station, or because, as Paul rightly points out, when I go in saying this isn't right for Radio 1, he's like, maybe they don't care. But I can now give you a direct feedback for whether you'd be right for Radio 1. And I actually love the fact you don't take breaths. I think the pace and energy you bring, and the fact that you're able to talk about music in a fun way, is almost the perfect thing we would be asking for Radio 1. So actually, I was really impressed with your demo, and I thought you did really good. So absolutely, you are absolutely on my radar. I now know your face and your name and what you sound like. So I am sure our paths will cross a lot in the future.
Thank you. It's so weird.
You've got what I really like is you've got a really good voice, Mollie.
Yeah.
I really like your voice, like this, even more so this voice, like your natural talking voice, and just make sure you stick within that, because you've got a really good, distinctive, strong voice.
We want to trust whatever you're about to say. You seem to have an authoritative way about you, and it's so telling that you look up to Annie Mac, because that's absolutely what she brings to the table. You know, she could tell you that there's really, you know, a song that I probably would have just completely dismissed was the next big thing, and I suddenly would have had a totally different approach to that song because it was Annie Mac telling me. And I think you have that gift. So even though the music you were playing was really fun, we wanted to follow you in your journey because of your voice and the way you handled it. And that's a huge credit. That's not something that's easy to pick up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pandora?
Yeah.
You said, and I remember it happening because you were going to golden buzz, right?
Listen, go on.
No, I was going to say, you were going to golden buzz, so thoughts?
So, Mollie, when I first heard you know what you were saying about Annie Mac, how, you know, you're just there, you're with her, you know, when you hear it on the radio. That's how you had every single one of us judges. I mean, if you watch it back and you see all of our faces, we were just so into everything that you were saying. I loved your passion. I'm with Aled, actually. I actually quite liked your pace. You know, a lot of presenters sometimes, when we get excited or we get really passionate, in fact, I do this a lot, I start to speed up and I start to speak really fast because I'm so excited. Whereas I don't think you overdid that at all. I still heard what you said. It was still crystal clear, and I felt your energy. I liked the way that you describe how a song makes you feel. And I think that is so important in radio, because you know, as you said, you're so right, you know, music brings us joy, and, you know, it determines our mood, and our job as radio presenters, especially as broadcasters in this time and what we're going through, it's, you know, we want to be the person that holds the listener's hand. We want to make them smile, brighten up their day. And by listening to you, I just thought for me, it was like tick, 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 tick. I just wish that I was not so engaged in you that I would have hit the damn thing, then I would have got the positive. But you did anyway, and I'm just so happy for you. I actually think you're going to be a great radio presenter, and you've got it. You've got it. You just now need the opportunity to kind of get up there and use this right now to bug Aled constantly. All right? Make more demos, send them to him.
Is a radio job what you want? Is it? Or was this a hobby during university?
This is literally all I've ever wanted to do. Like, people say that and it's so cheesy, and I did not want to say that during this. I'm so annoyed at myself for even saying that, but it's kind of, I think when you can picture yourself doing it, there's nothing else in my mind that I would want to do. Like, this is my dream 100%.
Well, you will
for it then.
Absolutely achieve on that goal. It's just what show and where, isn't it?
Thank you so much.
Actually, Mollie, I've got a question for you. Okay, so take Radio 1. Right now, Aled says to you, okay, we're wiping the slate clean.
Yeah.
What show do you want? What do you actually want?
As in the full dream?
Any show, Radio 1, right now, what would you pick? Breakfast, daytime, evenings?
So my favourite show on any station is always Drive Time. I think there's something about Drive Time that really speaks to me. I like the idea of getting people home, the idea that people might be in a bit of a rubbish mood when they get in the car, and you can kind of cheer them up and give them that thing that gets them home, and then they get home, they're in a great mood. I love Drive Time. It's my favourite show that I've ever done, and that would be my absolute dream.
And you know what, that's very important. Don't lose that, because I've said this before. When you want to be a broadcaster, pick a station and pick a slot. What do you want to do? How do you think that you'll sound on each, have a little practice, have a little run through, do little demos of you doing, breakfast, afternoons, evenings, all of that. And whatever you get the right feeling with is what you should go for. And I think that's so important, and it's so strong to know exactly what you want. So well done.
Thank you.
All right, Mollie, listen, thank you for that. It's nice to see your face.
Ben,
Sorry,
can I quickly say something to Mollie? Because I was waiting for my turn, it never came up. I'm just going to muffle in before you go.
We're still going to be here by Tuesday, everyone. We're still going to be here on Tuesday.
Oh my God.
Because I just wanted to say, Mollie, I haven't done Demo Factor before, and this is the only time I've done it, and I'm so gutted that we're not live, so that, because at this moment I'd love to come up and give you a cuddle and give you a little glass of Prosecco and have a little celebration with you, because it's just so exciting and so weird, this format for it. So I'm just really chuffed for you, and I can see that you're really humble and excited about it, and people like you deserve a chance. And for what it's worth, I'd written in the notes that I'd done when I listened the second time. Thank you. I wrote down Annie Mac because I felt like that, and I put down authoritative, like Aled said. You've just got that clear, authoritative, non-rambly voice that just connects and, is direct and speaks straight to people. You made me smile listening to it. I wanted to keep listening, and you've got that lovely mixture of selling music and being able to tell a story as well. So I just wanted to say that. I'm really chuffed for you.
Congratulations, Mollie.
Thank you all so much.
Mollie, is this the best Zoom call you've ever had?
Historic.
Just people throwing praise at you for 5 minutes. It's lovely.
Thank you.
Congratulations again on your golden buzzer. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mollie, nice one.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Pippa, you are the person that highlighted this next entry. You golden buzzed Jack. What was it about Jack you liked?
Oh, it was Jack's connectivity, his cheeky, sounds really cliche to say cheeky chappy, but he wasn't one of those really polished scripted presenters. He told stories, he had his own opinions on things, which is interesting because people like hearing opinions even if they don't agree with them. I enjoyed listening to him. Again, similar to Mollie, I smiled listening to him. I wanted to hear a little bit more. He didn't laugh at his own jokes. He told a few and didn't laugh at them. I enjoyed that as well. And he heard other elements. There was a bit of him talking to someone in an interview, which showed he had good skills there, which we glossed over in the first on the actual live night, because the actual interview was a little bit off mic, and so it distracted from the fact that he was connecting with a guest as well. So I think he's got really good potential. Like I said, not quite, as we say, radio ready maybe, but very nearly there. I really liked his style.
Okay, let's meet him. Let's bring Jack into the conversation. Come on down. Jack's not there.
Amazing.
There he is. Yes, come on down. Jack, congratulations. You were Pippa's golden buzzer. Pippa was just singing your praises, saying how good the demo was. What was it
Thank
like
you.
when you saw yourself golden buzzed?
Oh, it was amazing, to be honest. I thought it was a mistake, to be honest. But yeah, it was really good.
Where were you watching from?
My bedroom, yeah. So it was quite scary, to be honest, yeah.
So wait, your accent is real? I'm joking. Really nice accent, and I think it made a big difference for the demo.
Thank you.
We obviously know that Pippa's a fan, but Paul, what did you think of Jack's demo? You liked it, right?
I really liked Jack's demo. I thought there was I think I said on the night, it feels everyman. It feels like Jack's your mate. It feels like Jack's having a chat with you. You kind of want to hang out with Jack. Jack's just a friend. And I think, more than ever before, radio is about having friends. And you look at what radio is doing right now in this weird world in which we're living in, and actually the people who are working really hard and really well at just being your mate and being the person you have a coffee with or a pint with and talking about ordinary things or real things, they're the presenters who are really connecting at the moment, whether that's Zoe or Greg or any of those kind of really good presenters who just talk to you like you're their friend. And I really liked that from Jack. And what I agree with what Pippa said, but what I don't want Jack to do is lose those rough diamond bits, because I think there is a real place for someone who will just say what they're going to say, who will just do what they're going to do. And I think what I don't want you to do is get too obsessed with polishing what you do, because I think that just kind of normal person act is great. And you also, now I've seen you, which is really odd, you look like you should be in Dawson's Creek.
Oh my god!
Another contemporary reference.
Yeah.
But you look like Jack from Dawson's Creek. It's really weird. Anyway, congratulations.
Jack.
I thought you were great.
Thank you very much.
Jack, do you know what Dawson's Creek is?
Not a clue.
No.
That's showing your age, Paul.
Not for the first time.
Jack, what year of uni are you in? Where are you at uni again? Is it Leeds?
Sunderland Uni, so I'm in my fourth year
Sunderland.
doing my masters, yeah. So we've just finished.
Oh, right.
Well, pretty much, yeah.
And is radio where you want to be when you leave university?
Yeah, that's the aim. Yeah, that's the aim. That's what I've been working for the last few years.
Ignore the fact we've got Heart and Radio 1 and Radio X and Absolute on the panel. Is there a particular station you want to work at?
I think the aim's Radio 1, but like hitting like a national level would just be like amazing as well.
Okay, well, let's hear the thoughts of Aled on the demo then.
So what kind of show would you be aiming for? Where in the schedule could you be?
I really like the Scott Mills, like Nick Grimshaw slots, but they're the ones that I really enjoy. To be honest, I only started doing daytime last year. I was always doing like more in-depth music shows and like dance shows and stuff, but I just thought I'd give it a go.
And have you thought about, so the thing that we all picked up that we really liked about you is how natural you sound talking when you're doing a radio show. And you will be oblivious to the fact that that is one of the hardest things to do for a presenter, because it clearly comes naturally to you. Is that something that you've worked on, or how is it that you don't feel conscious? How is it you're so relaxed?
To be honest, I just have my mates listen, and they've got no like real radio knowledge or anything like that, and they'll tell me honestly if you found it funny or not. So it's that fear of getting ripped apart by them as well. So yeah,
I'll never lose that. Keep them close, because when you get your job and you've got loads of other people that you're trying to impress, always check with your friends, do they find you funny? Because that nugget of insight is clearly doing you well. So don't lose that.
thank you very much.
Do you do many shows with other people, Jack?
Yeah, I've done the odd one. I used to bring just people in because the way the studio was, people used to walk past the windows and people would just come in. So sometimes I grabbed them in, but that's it really. Mainly by myself though, to be honest.
because I think it'd be really interesting to hear you not in a Zoo format necessarily, but working with other people, because I think that element of conversation is so strong in what you do. Hearing you react to other people's conversations and their views and giving your side, I think it's not necessarily where you have to go, but I'd certainly experiment with that to see how you fit into a multi-presenter format.
I'd like to echo Aled's comments. Don't, whatever you do, Jack, cling on to the fact that you sound natural on the radio, especially if you're going to commercial radio, because they will try and make you sound like some sort of robot. You cling on to that naturalness, please. I'm in commercial radio too, Pandora. It's fine. We've still got it. It's fine. Let's speak to Pippa. Pippa, you obviously love the demo. You golden buzzed. Can you see Jack working at a station like Radio X, maybe?
Yeah, I think you've just got that connectivity. It's what everyone said, really, Jack, and it's really unique. Not many people have it. Exactly what Aled said, being able to naturally talk. People can't do it. As soon as the mic goes up, everyone goes into radio presenting mode. And you have, to bring Chris into it, when Chris puts the fader up, it's just a continuation of what he's saying. He just speaks to you normally, and it's, and in agreement with Paul, when I said to polish up, I definitely don't mean to stop that natural vibe that you've got. It's really precious, and I'm excited for you. Definitely Radio X. Again, you just connect, want to be everyone's friend, and that's the sort of vibe that we go for. You know your stuff musically as well, so promising. Exciting.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. It was. Do you know what? It was really, really good, Jack. It really was. You kind of we just want to be your mate. We want to go down the pub with you. You can be my next door neighbour, and I'll be banging at you at the window. Do you know what I mean? You really had that great feel. So I think that you've got a great career ahead of you. You probably don't realise it yet, but you really do, because you're just a natural at it, and that literally is it. I'm echoing what everybody else has said here. You really are a natural. So just keep on going, and you've got Aled down there anyway. So he's the fan. So it's good.
And
thank you very much.
I think what Paul said is spot on. I was just thinking about what he was just saying about you, and I remember he referred to you as a young Jordan North, which I think is one of the quotes.
Presumably you've heard of Jordan North, even if not Dawson's Creek.
yeah, I've had that,
but the point I think that Paul is saying, and actually when I was thinking about what he was just saying is spot on, is in this current weird time, talking to somebody like you want to go down to the pub with them and have a chat with them is exactly what we want. All of us want to just go and meet our mates and have a chat in a normal way and find a connection with somebody, whoever they are. And I think that's what radio is doing really well at the moment, is actually bringing radio and the people together and having a conversation. So actually what you can do and what you do in your presentation is exactly that. And as Ben said, never lose that. And Pandora said exactly the same thing. It's very easy to become a generic presenter. There aren't that many places to do radio at the moment. But if you are human and you're normal and yourself connect to all of us, we want to actually sit and have a pint with you, then you've made that massive leap. And I think that's what Pippa heard. And I think we all heard it on the night, and you made us smile. And I've seen it back, and we all did. And none of us buzzed, I don't think. And I want to know from you the answer to the question, is it okay to drink milkshake from a bottle?
I thought it was originally, but I've stopped drinking milk now, so it's kind of out the question. But I don't know, it was quite a weird topic, A lot of people were quite divided on it.
I'm sure.
I'd say yes,
came
you're
out.
allowed.
Yes.
That's what I'd go with.
Yeah.
Jack, if I remember rightly, your demo had a cow sound effect in it, which is always, you always know you're onto a winner with that.
Important.
Do you know what I was going to say? Actually, on that, I don't normally like comedy right at the beginning of a demo, right? Because, comedy is very subjective. What I find funny might not be what Pippa or Paul finds funny. So I would never normally hit, someone with that first. I'd go in with a great music cell. But do you know what? You delivered it so good. You had me waiting right at the very end, and the cow sound came. I was like, actually, I quite like that. So do you know what? Props to you. You had balls, and it worked.
Can I ask a technical question, a bit geeky, but do you drive your own desk?
Yeah, at the moment, yeah. I don't have a producer either. It's normally just me. in there.
Then that again is a really encouraging thing, because there will be people we will have heard demos from who have got the personality and the conversation right, and it's a great skill to have, but is easier to do when your sole focus is talking. So if you're able to have that personality while driving a desk, self-producing, then the foundation's there for some great stuff. So I cannot wait to hear what you do next. It'll be very interesting.
Well done, Jack.
Thank you
Jack,
very
if I were
much.
you, I'd get emailing, Jack. Get emailing, and hopefully we'll see you on the radio very, very soon. Congratulations once again, mate.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you.
So it's time to meet our winner. It was a weird year for Demo Factor, it's fair to say. For a start, we all did it from our kitchens and bedrooms and living rooms. And also there was some drama at the end when Paul retro buzzed someone. That someone was Alex. He ended up being the eventual winner. Alex, hello.
Hello.
Alex, congratulations again.
Thank you so much, Ben. Cheers.
So where were you when you won?
I was in my bedroom next door to here, and I was just sat in bed with my laptop watching it. I was on a call with a few friends who also had entered. So just sat alone in my bedroom. It was a very weird experience, to be honest.
Any crying? Mollie cried earlier. Did you cry? Shed a tear?
Just a bit, yeah. I think...
Hey.
Done it again.
Cruel.
Pippa's like, yes. We want tears. Great for the ratings.
I think it was really emotional when I saw. I think it was actually when the second link got played out after Paul had golden buzzed, and then the comments on the YouTube stream were just really, really positive, and that was the loveliest moment, I think, because like seeing that actually resonated with people was really, really, really nice. So yeah, but I was very emotional from that point on, and then everything else that just happened just added another layer to that, really.
Let's speak to Paul. Paul, obviously you were a big fan. You ended up golden buzzering second time. What was it about the demo you really liked?
It was everything I want any demo to be, or any pilot to be. It was real, it was honest, it was authentic, there was warmth, there was music passion. I knew something about you by the end of it. And I think so many demos you hear set piece, comedy, music link, station link, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of it, I kind of go, but who are you? And I found out in 2 minutes a lot about you and what's important to you and what your values are and who you are. And again, it's that honest conversation thing. And again, it's that moment right now where I really want people, and Ben, you and I have had conversations about this. I want people to stop their show and do something that you're not going to expect. And as a listener, you're not going to expect. And I think radio is about entertainment, and it's about making people laugh and making people smile and all of those things. But actually, if in the midst of doing all of that, you can stop your show and you can say something which just makes everyone else stop and think and have a moment and understand that you're just like me and I'm just like you, and we're all sharing something good or bad or weird, as we all are, and it was that for me. And again, I think that there was just that wonderful warmth. You've got a good voice. I thought, as demos go, kind of looking back over, I think I've done 6 or 7 years of this now, and it's up there in my kind of top 2 or 3 of all of the demos that I've heard, which make me think you're a great presenter.
That's really, really kind, Paul. Thank you.
Well done. And I'm just really annoyed that I didn't have the balls to do it the first time around. But
Yeah.
demo three is too soon. We could have had a genius, and you would just have been forgotten in the midst of time, and I would have never have heard of you again. But no, I kind of thought then, this is good, this is it. I was so close to doing it then. And then as we went through, the more everything that I then listened to, I was comparing it to that connection that I had with you on that demo. And there was some brilliant stuff, I think, with Jack and Mollie and Ed from Raw. There was stuff that I really, really loved. But I think it was the mental health link, if I'm honest with you, that did it for me.
Yeah, I think, just to echo Paul's statement there, I think that we've never had, I can't remember a demo in Demo Factor where you've suddenly stopped and gone, whoa. Like, we've had really good demos and really good moments, but the mental health link, particularly for me, I was like, oh, this made me kind of completely distracted from what I was thinking about, what we were doing next on the show, and it just made me stop and think. Alex, is there a particular station you're looking to work at, a particular show?
If you say Radio 1, you are literally out on your ear. I am retracting this.
If you want to say it, say it.
That's a tough question, isn't it? You know, I think there's a lot of stations that I listen to and really have a lot of respect for. You know, as someone who's quite specialist music-y, when Paul said that my demo was good for Radio X, Absolute, Six Music, that really, really excited me, because that's sort of where that's the stations that I listen to. That's the stations that I love. Yeah. And obviously Radio 1 as well.
Thank you.
He doesn't need any more.
Just cover
I was going to turn his video off then.
I jump in and say that.
Yeah, go for it.
What I really realised with you coming on is that I was slightly starstruck at the fact that we would be talking to you. And actually, when you think about how much you must have achieved with your demo, and that the whole thing is about finding the perfect demo. So to make someone who hears a lot of demos get excited to be seeing the face of the person behind the voice is literally what you're trying to achieve. So well done. That was great. And it was the mental health link, but for me, it was also how you transitioned from the music link into that and then back out, which showed real skill. And it wasn't clunky, and you went into an area which we're going to get 50 demos doing that next year. And I can guarantee that 49 of them will not be done as well as you did it. So it isn't just the fact that you did that topic, it's the fact that you did it with so much professionalism. And for someone in student radio with so new at the start of their career, that's really exciting. So, you know, really take that on board, that you have got some great skills that you can hone in here.
That's, yeah, really kind. That's fantastic. That's exactly what, you know, it's exactly what anyone wants to hear, really, isn't it? So that's just so lovely. Thank you.
Great.
Let's speak to Chris. Chris, obviously you're a fan of Alex, like everyone was. Can you give any advice to Alex on what he should do next? And anyone who's watching that has made contact with someone like yourself or Aled or Paul, and they've had good feedback, what's the next step? What do they do after this?
I think for the three that we've had this evening, obviously, is obviously staying in touch with us, and I'm sure we'll be in touch with you as well. It's about not being crackers and sending too many emails, but it's about keeping that, maintaining that relationship with people. As I say, some of the people who are going to get feedback from now, who weren't picked out on the night, they could be really good. And we might put them on the radio somewhere. Do you know what I mean? We don't know, because we haven't heard those demos yet. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of the journey. But I would say, don't be annoying, is what I would say, and just be normal and have a normal conversation. I think with Alex, I think you literally just got us. And I think I've done this for a long time. And, well, since we found Ben Burrell, basically. And since that point, you know, it was a brilliant demo. It was one of those standout moments, and Paul is right about that. But you are of the moment as well, you know, but you can do both things. And that's really, really interesting as a presenter, to be able to navigate through all of that stuff and be honest about yourself, which is what I think the first question that Ben asked me at the beginning of Demo Factor is, what am I looking out for? I'd not golden buzzed. I must say to Paul, we must make the point very clear that if you get picked out at the beginning of the Demo Factor, it doesn't mean to say you're not going to get a demo golden buzzer. But retro buzzing, bringing that back. So that one works. But I think, mate, seriously, brilliant. I'd like to ask you a question. We were doing this in isolation. We were doing this on Friday, and then, of course, you saw it on Monday. What happened where were you, and what happened to your friends and family when that bit happened? Because normally you'd be rushed on the stage, you'd get lots of hugs from us all, and there'd be glitter, and that'd be lovely, and you'd get a bottle of champagne and hang out with us. That didn't happen. So what happened to you when you found out you'd won Demo Factor 2020?
Well, I hope I still get the champagne at some point. That would be good. But I think that I think I was sat in my bedroom, as I said, and what actually happened was I saw unfolds, I was still in shock about everything, obviously, and I was on this call. Everyone was saying well done, and I was sort of just sat in my chair, sort of frozen. And then my dad came through the door because he's on Twitter, so he'd seen Paul's tweet about the demo and came rushing through and was like, "What's this?" So I was still in shock, basically on the verge of tears at that point. My dad was crying as well, so that was a really lovely moment.
That's amazing. And do you know what? For the first time ever, parents were around when you were doing Demo Factor, which is quite a bizarre
Unheard of, yeah.
Even my own. Let's not go there.
No.
Pandora, talk us through. So if Alex has got a career in radio coming up, what's he going to experience?
Well, he definitely has a career in radio. I think he should be very excited about the journey that he's about to embark on, because from what I've heard is you are someone to watch out for. You are incredibly skilled. What Aled said, you really are. It wasn't just the mental health. It was your skill to talk passionately about music and then weave it in to a serious topic and then come back out the other end. You know, presenters can take a long time to learn that. I never used to be able to talk about things seriously because everything that I did is, you know, I'm happy, I'm very positive, and you know, when it comes to talking about, you know, certain charities or talking about our current situation, I personally struggled because I was like, oh my God, well, what do I do? Also for me as well, a big thing was talking over dead air. That's not something that I'm used to, but the power of your own voice is so incredibly strong, and you seem to know that already right at the beginning of your career, and it's really refreshing and very exciting. So I think that you're already on a lot of people's radars, which is brilliant. You know, just mirroring what Chris said, don't, you know, annoy loads of people. I'm just sending out loads of emails. You don't need to do that. You have the skill, and you have the demo, to be fair. I wouldn't even tell you to go and do another one because I think we all really enjoyed that. I just think be very descriptive of what you want. Pick the station, pick the show that you want, go for that. Go in, well, after this is all over, go and meet the people in charge. Sit down, talk to them, and start getting pilots. And that's the best part. You'll be scared, you'll brick it, and you know, you'll probably cry as you're walking up to that certain building. But it's the most empowering feeling knowing that you are getting a step closer to your dreams. And you've got it, so just keep on going for it. And there's no such thing as disappointment. You always keep on going. Take critique as, it's always a positive. You're telling me that this didn't work, or this wasn't for me, or this wasn't believable. Okay, cool, I'll work on it, and then I'll come back stronger. And I think that's another important skill people need to learn, especially in radio, because, you know, we can knock on 20 doors and only get through one. That's not a bad thing, because all of those 19 doors, I've learnt from that. But yeah, be you, be yourself. You're very real, you're very raw. And yeah, I'm excited for you. So well done, congratulations. You really deserve the golden buzzer. And we all wanted to buzz for you, but we had to give it to Paul. God, Paul.
Can I ask a question before you, sorry, Ben, before you speak to Pippa? Obviously, you're going to do something at Absolute Radio, and Paul can tell us about that in a minute. The global team, I know it's not in your gift to be able to offer stuff, especially at the moment when there's nothing. But and also the same applies to you, Aled. Would you have that ongoing conversation with Alex and see if we can help him just to explore the different versions of himself in terms of the radio options we've got?
Well, if Paul was happy for us to, obviously.
No, he's mine.
We got to share.
I'm fighting over you already, Alex.
There's a bidding war already.
This is great. You should feel great.
It is good for us to all have contact, because you know, the stations do tend to interweave here and there, so you know, to keep in contact with everyone is going to be a really healthy thing to do for the future. And yeah, do feel free to nudge here and there as well. I know everyone's saying, you know, you don't want to be annoying, but do just nudge, because you want everyone to know that your name's there and remember you. And you know, like say at Radio 1, if there's a slot in the schedule, someone's off and Aled needs someone to fill in, and if someone's at the front of his mind, it just goes, Alex, he's there. And you know, it's sometimes you need to be at the right place at the right time. Not taking that away from Paul, obviously, because Paul's going to give you something on Absolute. But yeah, let's all keep the conversation open, because you know, it's a journey. It's not just one place. now. It's, you know, you're going to move around. You've got an exciting time ahead of you.
I think what Pippa said is really important as well, because I think advice to everyone who's entered and everyone who's embarking on a career, you're somewhere between about 21 and 24. The way the world is, we're all going to have at least a 40-year career, and there's this real pressure that I need it now, I want it now. I've been doing this show for 3 months, I need to move to the next one. I've been doing this, I've had to do overnights for 6 months, I must get on to daytime. Do you know what? Actually, the longer you give it and the more you let it breathe and the more you enjoy whatever it is that you're doing right now, what's going to come is going to come, and that's fine. But I think advice for everyone is don't rush it. Don't think the world owes you a living. Learn from what you're doing right now. Always have the aspiration of what the end goal is and what the next thing is. But don't try and think that you've got to be on a national radio station by the time you're 23, and you've got to be doing daytime by the time you're 25 and breakfast by the time you're 27. Because if you do that, you're setting yourself up for a bit of a fall, and you shouldn't and can't compare yourself to what other people do. Your journey and your life and your career is your journey, your life and your career. And don't compare yourselves to other people in terms of how far other people are progressing. Enjoy what you're doing now. If you can go to bed at the end of the day knowing that you've been the best broadcaster and the best person that you can be, that is genuinely all that you need to do right now. And think about the future, but don't worry too much about the future, because if you do that, you will do harm to yourself and to your mental health. You will not be the purest form of your own talent, and you could burn out. And nobody wants that, because what people want are broadcasters who are on the radio for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. So enjoy what you're doing, enjoy the ride, and see where it takes you, because I think that's really important. And I think people who get stressed and pressured about it really struggle in the long term.
That's
really my final thoughts.
No, that's so important, though, Paul, to enjoy the journey. That's so important. Wherever
I think, I completely agree with Paul. And speaking from experience, I wish I'd enjoyed, this sounds so corny, but I wish I'd enjoyed my journey a little bit more, because you obviously do worry about it a bit. But just to reiterate what Paul said, I mean, you've got to play the long game, because you are doing this career for so long, or hopefully for so long, that you shouldn't have had it all in 6 months. Otherwise, it just becomes a little bit meaningless. Paul, just before we finish, Alex is going to be on the radio very soon, isn't he?
He is. I haven't worked that bit out yet, but it is going to happen. And I think the fact is, the joy of Alex actually having a home studio means we can put Alex on the radio a lot sooner. So we're going to make sure over the course of the next few weeks, we're going to do some coaching sessions. We're going to get him in the right mindset for what we want to do, used to saying our words. We're going to kind of link up with him in his home studio. And we're going to put him on actual Absolute Radio, doing a proper show to our listeners. And I think what's really funny is that I bloody love radio listeners. I love the audience. Alex has already started to field tweets from our listeners, and he's already starting to be hassled in the general conversation that you and I face most days, Ben. In fact, actually, I think it was you were the butt of the joke where Alex was going to be your replacement, and listeners were starting a campaign to have you replaced by Alex. This was within 24 hours.
Ben, I have no intention of taking your job at the moment.
Can I just say, we're on a long contract. If you want to pay me off, the money's fine. I'll take it.
Also, the agent's in the room right now.
But we're going to put Alex on the radio very soon. We're going to work with him, hone his skills, and then you'll be able to hear him on national radio in the next few weeks or months.
Amazing.
Right.
Listen, Alex, you didn't get the chance on the night to have your kind of final speech, your thank you. So if you want to do it now, then feel free.
Wow, okay.
Just to put you on the spot. I mean, Paul wants to test to see how you are.
It's literally when they say to Popmaster at the end, isn't it? Who do you want to say thank you to?
Well, I think student radio for me at university has been a bit of a second family. It's been a thing that's kept me going a lot of really tough times. And that's not just the people at York, that's people further afield, all the stations I've worked with. So I'd just like to, while I'm here, I guess say thank you to them for all of the amazing things we've done together. It's been incredible. I'm really upset that I'm leaving student radio soon, because that's going to be very sad. Yeah, and obviously thank you to all of my friends and family at home that are supportive of me constantly, and you know, I've taken the dog for a walk right now so that she doesn't bark on this call. You know,
Pandora.
Yeah.
Henry's here. He's here. He's asleep. He's knocked out.
Pandora, he's already more professional than you.
All right, guys. All right.
Alex, thank you for that. And you can ad lib as well, Paul. What a start. Let's, for the final time, say congratulations, Alex. You are a worthy winner. Nice one, mate.
You're amazing. We love you.
That is it for Demo Factor 2020. We will be back next year, hopefully not from our living rooms and bedrooms. Thank you for watching.